Hey, Pastor Phil here. 2022. Here we go. It's January. We're into the cold season. Maybe over the hump. Who knows? One of the coldest days today. In fact, there was a delay of school today because it was so cold with the wind chill. But what does that mean in Minnesota? I don't know. We are ramping through the new year and looking at retreats and mission trips and summer camp. All of those things are kind of on the docket now, making decisions. Some of the students are looking at summer work or going off to college and graduating, and then we've got new seventh graders, anticipating them joining us in the year to come. And so just want to do a quick breakdown to let you know that we have slowly creeped back into the South Campus after our tornado experience and trying to renovate. We've got new drywall up, the roof is secure, a couple little leaks here and there, but for the most part we're getting back into the building. I've released Kim to start dreaming about furnishings in the youth room. We've ordered a giant TV, and that should be here in a couple of weeks. We're trying to get set up for kind of a grand opening to happen in February, to be back in and fully operational in the gymnasium. Anticipating that. The one last final steps after getting the tile back up in all the ceiling grid and the drywall mudded and taped and textured, working on the kitchen and other things. But we're kind of back into our space. If you haven't been with us since the tornado, and we welcome you back in. We've had a couple exhibition nights there, expo nights. Traditionally, in the last 4 months, we've added to our docket the Faith Family Night and pulled back from student ministry. We are actually bringing that back in as the alternative. So Faith Family Night is going to be the fourth Wednesday of every month, but there's still going to be student ministry. So Faith Family Night is like 6 to 8. So if you want to come and eat before we meet as a student ministry, you're welcome to do that. It was part of the experiment. We're like, yeah, let's re-offer a consistent night for the students on Wednesday nights. And so every Wednesday night, the rest of the school year, we're meeting. So no question as to when are we not or when we are. We've been working through a series called Tidings of Comfort and Joy just in January here. And tidings being like gaining a perspective, like a vantage point, so that I can understand comfort and joy in light of the big picture, right? And as we grow up, we gave some of those perspectives of finally seeing the top of the counter, or you're getting in on a high point, a vantage point, and you see quite a distance of the Grand Canyon or from a mountaintop or whatever it's been. And so from that perspective, to begin to push ourselves to see comfort and joy look different in light of eternity. In fact, this week, and we finish out the month, and it's not the circumstances that weigh in on our comfort. In fact, God's given us His Spirit. Man, what a mystery that is. We processed that last week. But joy too, it's like this thing that is set before us, to not look for all the immediate gratifications of things, but rather there is this greater joy set before us that we have a taste of that in this life, in what we call happiness or gladness or some of those experiments and expressions of that. But there is this greater joy set out before us that helps us endure hard things. Speaking of hard things, winter is tough here. One of the coldest days. I mentioned that already. Like, school is delayed today. How often does that happen in Minnesota? Rarely, if never. Anyway, so January, we're going to punch out the end of the year. If you want to come early and do part of Faith Family Night, they have a meal, and then come on over to the youth room. And as we finish out with joy, like I was saying, we're going to have a little comedic interference tonight to kind of add to our. Some of you this new generation does not know Tim Hawkins. Let's just pause to think about that. There is a whole piece of you're missing out on that, and so I'm just leave that as the caveat. So we're going to have a little bit of, not that we'll necessarily lean into Tim, but some comedic relief to help us get a feel for what is the joy set before us, and then immediacy of, like, there's a little taste of that, like happiness, even in the Christian culture. I grew up in a system thinking that oftentimes in some of the church cultures it dampened the spirit of, man, of all the people that should be experiencing joy, and that's not to belittle hard things that we go through. In fact, it's in the hard things that we have joy, that people are like, not based on circumstances. Why are you able to process and be able to work through some of those things? Anyways, we're going to experiment through the rest of that in January. We've got some retreats that will be coming February, March, and then also our SPROG, our Spring Progressive Retreat, so stay tuned for that. And of course, Super Bowl, you'll hear about more of that on the next Mainstreet Mile. Praying over our community, our school systems. You guys are right in the thick of your winter sports or extracurriculars, whether it's the one-act play or other things. And so I want to see you finish well with that. I got some students doing PSEO, so you're about to finish your college stuff, or you're right in the middle of that as well. Praying for you guys. Looking forward to a more grand opening. You see, my office is still empty. I'm hoping to move my library in and some of my other materials in the next week or two here. Also, open invitation. Sunday mornings are starting to ramp back up again. If you haven't been part of our Sunday morning serial at 9:30, we're looking into kind of this compact version of the life of Christ, a survey of his life, and then also missions. What does that look like? And we're teasing out the summer to come. And also camp, summer camp as bonus. I've got a daughter that works at Camp Lebanon, and so I've got the inside scoop on what's coming. Man, looking forward to connecting with you guys in 2022, specifically parents. Man, as you loan us your kids on occasion, I know you have the ultimate responsibility there of raising your kids, but it's so great to come alongside and be a part of the village. And also, you guys are doing great helping me raise my kids. It's rarely a week goes by that I have a conversation with my son Trey and like, Trey, help me to dad this moment. Like, I want to do well. And to you parents out there, as there's that sentiment of like, how do we do well by way of our kids? And to come alongside each other, I feel like that's part of student. Oh, I almost forgot. We are emphasizing TMI, not too much information, rather Teenage Ministry Insight. They've been growing in their podcasts, and just shout out to them. So in the Q&R Student Ministry podcast, we're highlighting some of theirs. And they just did a live podcast, so that will be showing up soon here too if you want to watch a version of their podcast, a video version of that. So stay tuned for that to be launched. Man, look forward to the grand opening again. See ya.